remember to turn on all notifications so you don't miss a video. Level check is another battle manga concept that I've decided to give a name to. I'll define it as a fight that usually precedes a bigger fight that is meant to show the hero's level or see if the hero is ready to proceed. First, I'll give some examples of level checks and then explain their writing qualities. The first manga I'll look at is Bleach. In the Soul Society arc, Ichigo fights Ikaku and barely struggles. Then he fights Renji and struggles a lot, but manages to pull out a win. Kenpachi makes him struggle even more, but Ichigo narrowly wins. The final battle requires Ichigo to learn Bankai before fighting Byakuya, who he also narrowly defeats. In the Arrancar arc, he's washed by Yami, then washed by Grimmjow twice, the second time making a little progress. His easy win against Dordoni shows that he's improved a lot. Then he beats Grimmjow with ease. Then he gets rocked by Ulquiorra and barely wins thanks to his powers. In Karakura, Keen is another check that shows him that he's still not ready to fight Aizen. This results in Dangai Ichigo, who's able to defeat Aizen. The Fullbring arc starts with an easy win against Adal, a moderate win against Jackie, a draw against Tsukishima, and finally a win against Ginjo. The 1000-Year Blood War arc has an easy win against Eburn, a slightly less easy win against Kyuuge, and a loss against Yuha. After training, he has an easy win against Candice, and a final challenging win against Yuha. One Piece also does this with Luffy. In Alabasta, Luffy has to fight Crocodile 3 different times, each time making a little more progress before winning the last one. This is a little different because it's against the same opponent. In Water 7, Luffy gets destroyed by Lucci. Then in Eni's lobby, with the help of a power-up, he easily destroys Bluno, and then has a challenging win against Lucci. In Whole Cake Island, Luffy has a challenging win against Cracker, followed by a challenging win against Katakuri thanks to a power-up. In Wano, Luffy fights Kaido 3 times, like Crocodile, this time getting power-ups in between. Dragon Ball Z is next. In the Saiyan Saga, Goku gets rocked by Raditz, only beating him with a sacrifice. Then he wipes Nappa with ease after training, and has a very contested win against Vegeta with some help. In the Buu Saga, the 3 Saiyans start with easy wins against Yakin, Pui Pui, and Dabura before struggling against Buu. Rurouni Kenshin is next. In the Oniwaban arc, Kenshin fights Hanyo with moderate difficulty before struggling to pull a win against Aoshi. In the Kyoto arc, Kenshin easily beats Senkaku, draws against Sojiro, beats Cho with ease, wins against Sojiro after training, and finally struggles against Shishimaru, eventually winning. In Demon Slayer's Naraguma arc, Tanjiro has a low-effort win against the Spider-Mom before struggling against Rui and needing to be saved. In Black Clover, the Witch's Force arc has Asta defeating Fauna with Mars before fighting Lars solo. In the Elf Reincarnation arc, Asta and Yuno have a quick win against 2 elves before challenging the king and losing. Tournament arcs technically do the same thing. They are made up of back-to-back level checks. Level checks are cool because they are an effective way for battle manga to communicate what level the character is at. Instead of explaining it to the audience, they use their form of spectacle, which is battles, to visually display whether the character is strong enough to fight the main antagonist of the arc. When they lose, they often need to train or learn some kind of lesson to proceed in the story. Another pro is that they provide more fights for the story. One con is that level checks extend the story with battles, making it less linear. This can be decreased by making the level checks shorter or reducing the amount of times they appear. Another con, based on how they've been used, is that they're only given to the protagonist. This is probably due to the first con of length, and another con, which is that new characters have to be created just to be disposed of quickly. A lot of creativity is expended on the character's appearance and moveset only for them to be barely used in the story. This can be countered by making the protagonist fight the same person and lose, like Grimmjow, Crocodile, and Kaido. But the negative side of this is that the protagonist doesn't get a satisfying win in any of the checks, and instead racks up losses. In conclusion, level checks are a fun way to display a protagonist's progress and power throughout an arc before they fight the final boss. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and help me revolutionize the manga industry by buying my manga and spreading the word. All important links will be in the description.